Hi guys, I'm back with a video. I'm so sorry about that. I just got a ping. I don't even know who it's from. I'm back with another video so soon. I'm going to at least try to upload twice a week with this new format and maybe once a week with the old format, which is just me being in front of the video. Or I might actually do once a week with the podcast format and once a week with the other format. I just haven't really figured it out yet. I know one thing. I know that I really like this format. And I will be sticking to it for, well, indefinitely. But let's just jump right into this video. This video is going to be about Maya Jama. Now, Maya Jama, girl, what are you doing, girl? She released, well, wasn't released, it was unearthed because Black Twitter has been doing its thing with unearthing tweets from decades, century, millennia ago. If you are a recent celebrity or you are coming into your celebrity, or maybe you're just somebody who's been sitting as a celebrity, a pretty atop a hill, and minding your business, but has decided to infringe or maybe just come into the Black community, or maybe, you know, it could be anything. It could be anything that sets Black Twitter off on you. But the one thing that I keep seeing is, the one trope that I keep seeing is that these Black celebrities who are, or not even Black celebrities, because you actually have non-Black POC, like again Sabrina Claudio, who recently, which I'll make a video on her too, maybe, or maybe I'll just touch on it in this video. But she's a Latinx singer who sings R&B music. Now, R&B music is historically a Black genre of music, but she decided to make, it was found out that she actually made a whole Twitter account, I believe, basically berating and harassing Black women, which is just very confusing. Like, if you don't like us, why would you dedicate all that time and energy, fam, to creating a whole fucking Twitter account? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm stumbling over my words trying to get to it. But that just goes to show you how people have an obsession with Black people. Black people literally have an obsession with Black people. Like, you can say whatever you want. You can say, oh, it's all in your head. You can say dark skin women are literally like insane if they think anybody's obsessed with them. But literally, people are obsessed with Black people. Not only are they obsessed with having our features, but they're also obsessed with us as what we do, the things that we do, who we are, and they're obsessed with our downfall. Because understand, if you're somebody coming into the Black community, and you are entering into a realm where these women are just undeniably popping. Ooh, my phone. And you coming in, you might feel away. You might feel insecure. You might not feel secure with yourself. And people always like to say, well, Black women are insecure. Black women are bitter. Black women are this. Black women are that. But the thing of it is, are we the ones really with the insecurity, or is it the world that is insecure with us, with our presence, with our power, our unearthed power, but our power nonetheless? And that's the problem that I have. So it was found that Sabrina Claudio was one of those people who is now holistically Black genre, and you decide to create a Twitter that subsequently is berating Black women? I'm very confused, fam. You need to figure it out. So, yeah, Maya Jama, we're going to stick to talking to her, but about her. We won't be talking about her. But basically, she is a, let's see, because she was not even in the realm of any, like, I didn't care about this chick. I saw a couple of pictures of her before all of this, and I really, I thought she was a pretty, I'm like, oh, she's pretty, she's beautiful, she's model-esque, she's all of those things. But she is not somebody that I'm actively participating in following because I don't care about what she does, to be honest. It's not even shade, but I just don't care. So it was a couple of days ago, maybe 5, and I was on Twitter just minding my business, and somebody retweeted that this girl is canceled, and it was a Somali person. And I'm wondering, why is this girl canceled? What does she do? And I'm like, here we go, another Sabrina Claudio. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. I don't really care though. And so I clicked on the name, or I clicked on the link, and it's Jama. And what is happening with her? Well, there's a series of tweets that come up, and they're all from about 2012, 2011. I'm not really sure, but they're probably 4 to 5 years ago, dated. And I will, how I do for my previous video, I will put all of this stuff up as I'm talking. But they basically are saying one of the tweets was like, let me pull it up. Actually, I'm just going to read this article, and I'll leave links to everything that I'm talking about. This one is from HuffPost.uk. Maya Jama apologizes after offensive tweet about dark-skinned women is unearthed. Maya Jama has issued an apology after an offensive tweet about dark-skinned women has unearthed on her Twitter. The Radio 1 presenter was on the receiving end of a backlash when it was revealed she posted on her account back in 2012. Dark-skinned bitches shaving their head expected to look like Amber Rose, when really they end up looking like Michael Jordan. LOL. Maya has since broken her silence on social media to give her genuine and sincerest apologies, claiming she has been quoting someone else. And just to stop it right there, you're quoting, but to me, you can say whatever you want. Even some people in their regular citizens, excuse me, I have a cold coming on. Regular citizens on Instagram, on Twitter, always like to post this. And what they post is, me retweeting anything does not mean I endorse it. Well, that's exactly what that means. Sometimes you retweet stuff because you want people to see what's going on. And Black Twitter has an unofficial rule book, basically. And what that is like, if you retweet some fuck shit, then we want everybody to retweet it because we want it to be seen. So like, if some white person does some racially biased or racist stuff, like we retweet it because we want the whole of Black Twitter to like get in that ass. And it's kind of like, when you know, however Canadians be saying that term. But like, if you know. And yeah, that's how it goes. But if it's like some regular type stuff, if it's some colorist stuff, and then you tweet it like in parentheses LOL with your own like twist to it, then you endorsed it, fam. You endorsed it. You endorsed it. So don't say like, even if, I don't care if it was 5, 6, 8 millennia ago, like you endorsed it. So like, even if you feel a different way now, it's cool. Like nobody was coming out the womb woke. You know what I'm saying? We all are dealing with colorism in 2018 the same way, in a different way, than we were dealing with it in 2012, because colorism is just like now becoming a subject of discussion amongst Blacks. So I get it. I'm not going to hold you if you feel a certain way now, a different way than you did in 2005. Like, that's totally different. But stand behind your truth. Like, you did it. And it's cool. It's not cool, but like, you did it. You need to stand behind that shit. Like, for real. Like, girl, bye. So anyways, she wrote a tweet, has been brought up from 2012 when I quoted an insensitive joke I saw a comedian say on my timeline. It was a stupid joke that I shouldn't have made light of, especially because it's offensive to a group of women who I know constantly deal with disrespect. My genuine and sincerest apologies go out not just to dark-skinned women, but to all women. I know this was completely wrong, whether it's a joke or not. It's not okay. First of all, that second part, not to just dark-skinned women, but to all women. You're belittling. Okay. Okay. You're done. You're canceled. You're done. Because what you just did there was all lives mattered that shit. You could have just been like, you could have been real. You could have just been, even if you were faking it, you could have been real for the public, quotes, whatever. And said, I apologize to dark-skinned women for what I said, blah, 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 because dark-skinned women don't deserve that. And they deal with colorism on a weekly, if not daily basis. So, people went in on her for that. Like, I was on Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I was one of the people who went in on her for that, because I was confused as to why you couldn't have just been straight up with your answer. All of this bullshit about all not just to some women, but to all women. And one of my tweets that actually got retweeted and liked a lot, like over 1,000 likes and retweets, was that I don't have it up in front of me because it's been like 2 days, and my stuff gets retweeted like so much. But like, I was like, basically, it is so hard for the All Lives Matter blacks, quote unquote, to apologize to their dark skinned counterparts. And the shit is true. Like, you cannot, it's so hard for people who don't think a certain way to then kind of like alter their apology or in order to appease you. That's just like if somebody was found out to be racist, right? Like Pewdiepie from YouTube, who's like he's the most watched gamer on YouTube, most watched YouTuber, period. And he made this like half-assed bullshit apology about it.
Is back in the center of another controversy. PewDiePie was live streaming while playing the very popular PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds when he said this.
What a fucking jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck?
What the fuck indeed, PewDiePie? As you can imagine, there has been a lot of backlash on social media over this moment for many different reasons. Wellington Boyce calls out the childishness, tweeting, PewDiePie playing video games like all the white 12-year-olds on Xbox Live, calling everyone the N-word. Brianna Wu says, retweet if, unlike PewDiePie, you don't start randomly screaming racial slurs while playing video games. At Big Boss Bose posts this reaction, when you're a PewDiePie fan, but you just saw the clip. Mike Drucker writes, nobody is shocked by PewDiePie being racist. At most, the emotional response is, yep, there it is. In February of this year, PewDiePie got caught up with a battle with the media. As YouTube's biggest earner, PewDiePie was called out for his use of Nazis and anti-Semitism as fodder for comedy. PewDiePie put out a response, but he didn't seem to grasp why he was getting all the backlash.
A lot of people loved the video, and a lot of people didn't. And it's almost like 2 generations of people arguing whether this is okay or not. I'm sorry for the words that I used, as I know they offended people. And I admit that the joke itself went too far.
PewDiePie defended his content as being sarcastic and humorous. However, disguising racism as a shocking punchline is still racist.
And then he basically, people were like, that's not really an apology. And it's like, that's because he really doesn't feel that way. That nigga said nigger, okay? And that's how he feels. And that's it. And it's the same way. If you give me a half-assed bullshit apology, Maya Jama, I don't believe you. You probably still feel that way. But the thing is, you're dating a dark-skinned man, so I'm confused by you. And that's another thing about non-black PLC, because she's canceled at this point. I don't consider her black. She's half Swedish. Stick to your Swedish lineage now, because that's how you feel. There was another tweet that came out where she basically, I'll try to find it and link it again, where she basically called her grandmother on her Somali side like a nanny or a maid. And it's like, bitch, that's your grandmother. What? That's your nanny? Bro, are you dumb? So like, obviously you want to be white, so stick to that white bullshit. But like, once you start talking that shit, like, stick by it. And basically, like, whatever, if you are mixed race and you find yourself in a Hazel E situation where you just don't want to be black, then stick to that. Stick to it. Because we don't want you. We don't need you. And because this black renaissance or black girl magic is popping, and now everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody really wants to be a nigga. Paul Mooney, okay? No, you cannot claim your blackness in 2018 and try to have an erasure of it when it wasn't. See, the thing is, like, it wasn't cool to be black in 2012. It wasn't cool to be black in 2011. So yeah, obviously people assimilate with the times, right? Per my previous video yesterday talking about Carl from the Grapevine, people assimilate with the times. It was all jokes in 2011 and 12 because that's what was popping back in 2011 and 12. Now in 2018, where black women have created a safe space for black girl magic and black renaissance and black self-worth and knowledge of oneself and trying to understand oneself and loving oneself, self-love, you know, putting yourself on a pedestal, putting yourself on it's just, you understand what I'm saying. Putting yourself on a pedestal so that you are untouchable. Putting yourself on a pedestal to love yourself enough. Not worrying about the world, worrying about only you and the people who are supporting you in that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you had some tweets that you assimilated to the times, and so those tweets were derogatory, and now all of a sudden you're this different person, it's hard to believe, because people were trying to say like she was 17 back in that, you know, in that era or that time, and those tweets didn't, like, my nigga, I was not making tweets about light-skinned niggas in 2017, and you could search the shit, period. People like to say they did, you know, they changed, but do people really change for real? I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know. I'm not a judge though, so I'm not gonna judge nobody. I'm not gonna hold you, but I don't know. So, anyways, people have some responses for her, and I'll read a couple if I can find some. It won't be that hard to do. But the top tweets about Maya Jama, Amaka Marie L. Wobi, I don't know what the fuck kind of name that is, but she says, people who aren't dark-skinned girls telling dark-skinned girls that Maya Jama's tweet about dark-skinned girls wasn't that deep. I'm lost. Layer Cake says, I hope I'm wrong, but I have a sneaky suspicion that the controversy surrounding Maya Jama won't get the same level of coverage Stormy's Oats homophobic tweets got. Why? She insulted the least protected group of people in society, dark-skinned women. I have to agree with that. Somebody else said, so someone woke up at 7 a.m. and searched Maya Jama at with dark-skinned bitches. Okay, whatever. I'm so sorry. Somebody else said, to be honest, I'm not even surprised at what Maya Jama said. Most of these light-skinned or mixed celebrities low-key hate black girls. Society gave them the platform. That platform, light skin, fair skin is pretty. The dark skin is ugly. It's a shame though that they let themselves get carried away. And that's the thing, like, people, when they get that platform, bro, like, I don't know. Somebody else says, some of these black guys will defend Maya Jama till they die. Let it be a dark-skinned girl making jokes about light-skinned girls or even white girls, we would hear angry black woman hater. And that shit is another thing. Like, let me take a sip. That's another thing. Black men will defend light-skinned women to the ends of the earth. And my only comment about that, because I want to make an actual separate post on that, is that black men have so much internalized self-hatred, so that they can cape for light-skinned women, non-black POC, and white women, that they will defend these women over their own women, and they're the only race to do it. And that's just facts. Like, that's just facts. Black men will go to the ends of the earth for their light-skinned queens, their white queens, their non-black POC queens. But when it comes to black women, and there's no defense, they got all the excuses. Well, she was 16, 17. So she was young. If the girl is older, well, she didn't know any better. She's from another culture. If the girl's from the same culture, well, she didn't know no better. She's light skinned. Like they just got all the excuses in the world. And I think that it has a lot to do with internalized self-hatred, because it's like a lot of black men don't see worth in their dark skin. So why would they see worth in your dark skin? So in order to have an erasure of blackness on their end, they end up marrying, wifing, having children with somebody who they of a lighter fare, who fits that Eurocentric standard of beauty, who's more palatable to their families, who's more palatable to their friends, who's more palatable to society, and they end up with somebody who they may or may not have anything in common with, but because the person is light-skinned and quote-unquote pretty in relation to Eurocentric standards of beauty, now all of a sudden that person is their wife-to-be, and that's the only factor in the situation. And that just comes from slavery. It has historical context, and it's really sad that somebody like Stormzy, who's her boyfriend, I don't know anything about this nigga, but it's really sad that somebody like him, who's the darkest of dark, would stay with a girl just because she's light skinned. Because quite frankly, if my man was to be found an out and out known racist, I would drop him with no hesitation. And that's just it. Because I'm sorry. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. You might be fetishizing me. You might be with me for whom God knows what, but it's not because you love me. Because if you love me, you would never say no shit like that, period. And no, men don't come out the womb woke. Women don't come out the womb woke. But there's something to be said for people who make these comments. I don't care what era it is, but it's something to be said. Like, have you really changed? What steps have you really changed? What steps have you really taken to change? I don't know. So anyways, I posted about this on my Instagram, and the Somali community again came out, as they do for their people. Some people were dead ass were just completely against her, not because of her colorist tweets, but because of that Somali comment with her grandmother. And that speaks volumes to me. A lot of Somali people did drop or held back their defense of her and were attacking her, not because of the colorist tweets, but because of what she said about her grandmother. So it's all fact though. Now she is denouncing her Somali heritage because she said that about her grandmother, not because of what she said about dark-skinned people. Some of them actually were defending dark-skinned women, some of them, and that's a very small fraction of people. And to those people, shout outs to you, because that you know that you're black, right? Okay, cool, boom. Like, shout out to those Somali people who actually said some shit, some real shit. I'm not against Somali people, and this is where the part of the segment where I'm going to address this, and then I'm gonna be done with it. Somali people do not like me. They don't like me. They don't like me. They think that I have two previous videos where I've talked about how Somali people can be anti-black, how Somali people just do not fuck with black people like that, how they have anti-black sentiments and quote unquote racist tendencies towards black people. And when I say black people, I'm talking about all like black people, like dark-skinned black people, and then black people in general. And the reason that I say this is that there's a big anti-black sentiment in Africa, period.
About a very important topic today. You guys wanna announce it?
Today we'll be discussing colorism and growing up dark skin,
especially in the Somali community. So growing up dark skin. So how was it for you guys, like growing up as like children, like with our complexion?
In the Somali community, a lot of you know that we have a problem with colorism and how prominent it is in our society today. And I think a lot of us growing up in primary or elementary school, we were either victims of or witnesses of dark skin hatred. I want to say hatred.
Yeah.
Basically big up the lighter skinned kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like we've all went through it.
Personally,
personally.
Definitely.
Yeah, do you guys want to add on to that?
Yeah, I've witnessed a lot of times where people would like just come at people for being dark skinned, and there's like been so many jokes from elementary school, middle school, even in college. I'm still getting shit that I've been hearing like my whole life. So it's just, yeah, it's something really dangerous. I don't know, it's 2017 and we still have dark skin. Like,
where the closer you are to whiteness, the more palatable you are to other blacks, and that's sad. The more palatable you are to non-black POC, and that's sad. The more palatable you are to white people, at the end of the day, and that's sad. But to speak to Somali people, since I've done those 2 videos, Somali people just think that I just hate them, and that's not even really what the truth is at all. I'm black racially. Somali people are black racially, so therefore we are the same. And whatever your ethnicity is, that's on, God. You didn't choose that. And so having so much pride about who you are because that's how God made you and that's where you landed in the world is baffling to me. Like, I'm a Caribbean American, but I do not flash my lineage. I don't really even care, to be honest, like about lineage in terms of like specifically like, okay, I'm from this place in Jamaica, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, especially like if you're a Muslim who believes that you're just a nomad in this world. And so this is not even the final stop for you. You're just like somebody who, Rasulullah said that you're just a nomad in this world. So what your lineage is really doesn't matter, right? You could have been born in the Caucasus Mountains. You could have been born in southern India. You could have been born in Zimbabwe. It really doesn't matter. But for people I don't mind when people have pride, but there's a different bad sort of pride that people kind of like to stick to and really resonate with. And that's that pride where it kind of like you have these rose-colored glasses on where you really don't see things clearly in terms of like all of the negative things that your people do to inflict pain on other persons of color or other people, period. And what Somali people tend to do is that they ignore all of the problems and ills of their society and like only stick to like the good things, which is like what you're supposed to do kind of, but then it's not, because if you never touch or address ills of your society, then how is your society supposed to grow, change, become a superpower, become a force to be reckoned with in terms of other superpowers? It's never going to happen if you don't touch upon the ills of your society. And I speak to that with Caribbean people. I speak to that with Arab people. I speak to that with African people. I say that with the humblest of hearts to everybody, because how are you supposed to get better if you don't know what you're not good at to begin with? Like, if you have a weakness, then that weakness is only going to deepen with time. So Somali people have a hard time. Some Somali people, I won't say all. Some Somali people have a really hard time with identifying any bad things of their society. Saying that Jarir is just like not a non-existing thing in Somali is just obtuse to me, because I see it all the time, written all over my Facebook all the time. The fact that this girl is Somali and Swedish, like there's something to be said. Somebody said, well, you're just attacking her because she's Somali and you couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for what? I said, I definitely messaged back and said I wasn't waiting for anything. Sometimes things just drop into my lap. And the last thing that I'll say about Somali people is the only reason that I go so hard for Somali people is that I grew up around them. I grew up around certain demographics of people. You always see me go hard on Arabs all the time. It's because I grew up around Arabs since I was like 8, 9 years old. I couldn't get away from Arabs. I couldn't get away from Somali people. This is the reason why I go so hard. I go hard on everybody else, but those two demographics of people, because Somalia is 99.9% Muslim. The Arabian Peninsula and other Arab quote unquote countries, okay, claim to be so that at the helm of Islam, when really Arabs statistically are very low in their numbers per Islam. Black people are actually like, and when I say black, I mean African Americans are actually at the helm of the numbers that make up Muslims in the United States and the West. So the reason why I go so hard on these two demographics of people is because I see a lot of good, but I also see a lot of bad. How are we going to tackle all of these other issues if y'all can't get past racism and colorism? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And I'm not going to stop talking about it because somebody feels a certain type of way. If you feel a way, then okay. Somebody said that I'm obsessed with Somalis. I'm not obsessed with Somalis. Are you dumb? I'm not obsessed with Somalis. Somalis, the area in which I live is heavily inflated with Somali people. So I cannot not talk about things that I see in my own environment. If that's a problem with you, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like me. You don't have to talk to me. You can unfollow me. There's so many ways you can get away from me. But the fact of the matter is that if I see a problem in anybody's society, I talk about Black Muslims. I talk about literally everybody. But what people tend to hone in on is that I talk about Somali people. But Somali people don't tend to touch on the fact that there's a lot of systems that are injected into Somali culture that I do not agree with and should not be agreed with, and should be counteracted, should be reversed, should be, there's things that need to be, girl, there are things that need to happen so this shit does not happen anymore. And the fact that some Somali people, some Black people, not just Somali, but some Black people are defending Maya Jama's tweets like that she was young or just, let's just be real. The girl's pretty, mashallah, and that's why you guys are defending her. The girl's light-skinned, mashallah, and that's why you're defending her. If the girl was a dark-skinned woman, would she get all of this defense? Probably not. But because she's all of these things that are quote-unquote determining factors and good things, she's supposed to be okay. She still has 500,000 followers on Twitter, so she's doing fine. The fact of the matter is she'll continue to do fine, but we must take account. We must hold these people to task when this shit comes up. I want to know why you said it, and I want to know if you fucking still feel this way. Because guess what? If you want to have support of the white people, do your thing, because you are half Swedish, right? But if you want to have support of Black people, you're going to have to defend yourself, because Black Twitter is not going to stop finding out shit, unearthing shit. They are FBI, and I'm a part of that shit. The protection of Black people is what we care about. And if you don't rock with us, then leave. Attach yourself to whiteness and see how far you go. You might go far now, but you go far later. And that's all I have to say about that. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share the video. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers before June. I know that's a weird goal to have, but I am trying to get my subscriber count up. So if you like this video, please share it, and if at the very least leave a comment about how you feel, because I know everybody doesn't feel the way that I feel. But please leave a comment, because I like to know how other people feel about certain things. Not that I'm going to care if it's opposing to mine, because I'm not saying anything wrong, but I do want to know how people feel. So I'm going to see you guys later. I'm going to be out. If you like the video, like it. If you don't, like it still. Bye.